Hi friends, let me tell you how I got a head start on my potatoes this year. Who would know that it is 55 degrees today in May? This is crazy weather. We were supposed to maybe get more hail yesterday, so that was a little scary. Look at my amazing potatoes. I just planted these out. If I had waited until the end of the frost to put these out, they would not be up yet. They would be little bitty, like these guys right here. So let's talk about what I did different this year to get a head start. We were supposed to have a big thunderstorm last night, and I just checked, and we got 0 rain last night. What we got was clouds and cold and wind. Now, if you're going to plant in the ground, you can put your potatoes underground and put row cover over it, just to keep the ground a little warmer, and you'll get faster germination. But I knew I wasn't going to plant in the ground for my potatoes, so I used a basket like this. And actually, I had 2 smaller baskets that I got from the Dollar Tree, and they were $1.50 each, and they were outside when the hailstorm came and destroyed my baskets. So those baskets got thrown away. I'm going to show you what I did in this basket with some other potatoes I have. My gosh, I just realized I have sweet potatoes in here. Well, I will be planting those out soon, the ones that have sprouted. Okay, so I have this bin of potting soil, and I'm going to start my potatoes in this potting soil. So let's fill this guy up. We're not going to fill it up. We will just put a layer of dirt in here. I would say, about halfway. Then we're going to, that'll give us space to put the potatoes and to put more potting soil on top. I like that this bin has holes in the side, so I know I'll get amazing drainage in it. It's looking good. Let me put a little bit more. I might have to open another. Oh, there's one of my non-woven bags. I love these things. Okay, so that looks good. Let me show you what I'm going to use for my seed potatoes. Now, I got these at the grocery store. Organic potatoes, yellow potatoes. I buy the organic ones because a lot of times they'll be sprayed with sprout inhibitor, and then your potatoes won't sprout. So there we go. You can see they're already sprouting. Let me dump these in here. These are the same ones that I planted out there. So I know they're good. I know they're going to do great here. Let's see. Okay. So I'm going to spread these out. Now, in the other baskets that I had, I put the potatoes right next to each other, just like this. And I had them wall to wall, lined up, just like this. I have a little more room in this one. I will say that when I broke them apart out there at the beds, it was a little hard to tell where one potato plant started and the other one ended. And so I did end up pulling off some of the roots or some of the starts. So I think this time I'm going to plant them a little further apart. But look at that. So I'm just nestling them in there. I'm going to cover them up with more potting soil so that they can get a good start. This guy can just go here. Need some more in the corner. Let's see what we got in the way of potting soil. If I can scrape it over. Here we go. I might have to open another one. In fact, I have potting soil outside that I can put in here. So I might do that. These potatoes, when I started them, I kept them inside, just like I did all of my other potatoes, but then quickly moved them outside because we were so close to the frost being over. But I still got that head start that I would not have had. I just put those out in the garden. So if I had waited they definitely would not be sprouting the way they are. Also, when I was emptying the basket, I noticed that several of the potatoes had just rotted. And if I had just sown them direct, some of them would have rotted and I would have missed out on space that space is at a premium in your garden bed. And I don't want to plant stuff and have it not come up and have to replant it. I would rather plant stuff that is viable and make sure that I'm not wasting time at the garden bed. I am planting a lot of potatoes this year. A lot for us, considering I don't usually plant potatoes. I have planted potatoes in the past at our other house as a little experiment. I put them in the ground. I may at some point put them in the ground. We have that donation garden we're starting. We rototilled that up. Right now it seems very soft and it seems like stuff might grow in it. I don't know what's going to happen once we have a couple of rains. It's very clay, so it may not turn out to be good at all. I'm trying to focus on food sustainability, right? Like I'm wanting to grow a lot of gourds, a lot of squash, sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, things that can store for a long time. I also have a lot of tomatoes that I will be canning and freezing. We talked about getting another freezer. We only have a small one right now. We're putting beans away, like 5-gallon buckets of beans. So it's important to know I'm starting to practice more habits of like starting early, how to grow stuff in bad conditions. What can I do to really maximize what I'm growing? My seedlings are back in the house because we are expecting hail last night. For the record, we don't usually get hail here, but for the very first time, we had baseball size hail. And so now I've got that on my mind. Okay, as I'm growing my garden, what are the steps I need to take so that if there is hail in the future, how can I keep my garden safe? If there's, high winds, what do I need to do? If we have a drought, what do I need to do? So I'm trying to run all these contingency plans, and growing something that can work in almost any weather, grows underground, I can put in my beds, has great return. For every potato you plant, or even half of potato, if you're cutting them in half, you're going to get 8 potatoes. That is a great return on investment. So I'm really working on stuff like that. The squash that I'm growing, I plant 1 seed, I get 8 squash, right? So let's top off these potatoes and then we're going to put them outside. Here is my wagon full of some potting soil. So why would I want to put my potatoes? It's already planting season. We've already hit our last frost, right? So why am I still planting my potatoes in a bucket, in a basket, instead of just straight in the ground? Because I don't want to have rotten potatoes in my beds. I want to make sure that everything germinates, sprouts, keeps growing the way I want it to before I put it in the bed to take up space. I also have some cosmos in there and some nasturtium. Now, nasturtium don't do great transplanting, so I probably won't do it for them. But cosmos do not mind being transplanted at all. So I will definitely be putting them first in containers, waiting till they sprout to make sure we have germination, and then transplanting them into the beds. Okay, it's topped off. Let's go put it over by the sunroom on the porch where we've been keeping our potatoes. Okay, this is where we've been keeping the potatoes. You can see the sweet potatoes down there in their jar. And these sweet potatoes were over here, but last night we were supposed to get hail. So they got moved. These are the cosmos that I will be starting here pretty quick. What do you guys think about the potatoes? Have you started them that way? Do you start them inside when you start your other seeds, or have you always planted direct? Also, what are some tips that you would give me for growing potatoes that I may not be thinking about? I've got them in there with compost and some manure. I think they're going to be good. I do need to put a watering system in. Right now we're just hand watering, but let me know in the comments, guys. What do you think about planting potatoes ahead of time? Thanks for coming with me, guys.